The recount of all votes cast over 3 months ago completed after 34 days at the Artichoke Conference Center. Throughout this process, the voices that have come to serve as the breath of fresh air, bringing the truth to the public and keeping the Guyana Elections Commission in check, are not the ones you've come to know. These are all smaller political party leaders, parties which were launched just last year to contest the March 2nd general and regional elections.
If there is ever a time to form a party, it would not have been 2020. But then again, if there ever was a time to form a party, it would have been 2020.
Most of these persons you've come to know and rely on post-March 5th, even though some of them did not get even 1,000 votes from Guyanese. One of those persons is the Citizenship Initiatives leader, Ms. Rhonda Lam, who spent every day at the Artichoke Conference Center looking over the recount. Her party gained 680 votes at the end of the process.
As a new party, we literally, we've been joking that we've been thrown into the pits because our very first round out the gates, we ended up with controversy. Well, we usually do, but then a national recount, which is in our history has never happened before. As we sat through that recount, I've been here for every single day of that period. I've always been in tabulation, but I've also been within the, occasionally I would go into the counting stations to have an idea. And so that process of seeing what it entails, even at the count, because that count is hidden from the public. So you see how the ballots are taken out, they're counted, all of it have to be reconciled. And so that process has now been placed in the public domain. And in fact, all of the politicians for all of the parties have seen that process unfold.
Lam, a teacher by profession, said it was never about gaining power, but making a difference.
What TCI formed itself for was to bring citizen awareness and to show the public that, an ordinary citizen, not with a big party machinery behind them, can take part in the electoral process. I mean, you do need money for it, but we managed to get that. So the idea was never about power. The idea was never about the votes. We got the votes and, persons are laughing. It's only 680 votes, but that's 680 votes. That's 3 digits, That's 680 people who said to us, we trust you. We want you in positions to help us.
The smaller political parties were all deemed PPP surrogates in the campaign period leading up to the elections. But now, with the People's Progressive Party winning 15,000 more votes than the incumbent APNU-AFC, the parties which have managed to gain enough votes to have 1 seat in the 65-member National Assembly have made it clear that they will not play along to the new government's whims.
You see, our problem is systemic. The reason we've been so polarized is that there's a winner-take-all system. So today, we have a winner, but we have a loser. So we have a triumphant party, but we also have an abject and desperate party. That is what polarizes us and creates this mess. So we have to incrementally, slowly, as we can do with only 1 seat, propose changes that make the system more inclusive and give the party that is in opposition a greater say in decision making. And we have proposals to make that happen, and you will see in the future we are going to be doing that.
That was chairman of Union United Guyana, Timothy Jonas. An attorney by profession, he became popular for his bluntness relating to the elections, electors, and those in charge of the process. But Jonas said the recount has also served as an important learning experience for him and his party.
I have been practicing law for over 20 years, but I have never gone into electoral law to see the system firsthand. I have been very much a commercial lawyer. So this has been a new area, and also seeing it implemented firsthand has been new.
ANOG, the New Movement, and the Liberty and Justice Party joined their list before the elections. Through this agreement, the parties will each provide a candidate to sit in the National Assembly over the 5-year period, starting with the LJP, which garnered most votes out of the 3 parties.
We were not politically experienced. We had no politicians in our group. We've never gone through any elections. So as a new party, we were literally thrown into the deep end right away. For everything that we thought we would not have to face, we thought it would have been a very smooth cycle. We've had to face all of it, and it's been a very, very taxing yet satisfying activity from a political party's perspective.
The third party is led by a team of doctors, and though they only managed to gain 244 votes, they will also get to sit in Parliament. At this point, party member Dr. Josh Kanai hopes that there will be no more court cases and the declarations from the elections will be made shortly.
And from that recount is where the majority of the experience I have personally gained along with the new movement. We have gained a lot of experience through this, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to have gained it, but I'm not so thankful for the circumstances which it occurred under. Right? However, I would do it again, but I'm hoping that our Guyanese people can mature and can see it in a way whereby we never have to come back to something like this.
Some have said that these small parties are only here for this period and after the elections they will disappear. However, Dexter George of Change Guyana said this is not the case. Gaining from the experience he would have learned during this process, he said his party will remain and will return in 2025 stronger.
We are going to be here for the next elections and the next elections that follow this. It's a learning curve. Most people would say it's just a learning curve. If you do realize that Change Guyana only had about 2 months to get ready to be involved, and we've made such an impact.
As the process winds up, the work of another group of persons continue, at least until the Guyana Elections Commission declare the results of the elections. Those are what we have come to call container watchers, or the guardians of the containers. These men and women have formed a camaraderie across political differences as they sacrifice sleep to guard the ballots of the Guyanese citizens. We spoke with someone new to the elections process and a PPP member who has been part of elections since 1992.
Then we had to be guarding containers, right? And that was quite interesting. For a first timer coming into this game, we guarded containers, and those containers held the ballots, secret ballots, sacred ballots I would call it.
And this thing was a 24-hour watch, meaning that we did not take our eyes off those containers from since probably March 4th up to yesterday. And we secured them, we ensured they moved more than once, they were here. They went back to GCOM, they came back here, some came from different parts of the country. And we ensured that the integrity of those containers was always maintained at all times until the recount was finished. And this was a 24-hour, and it was, a lot of people was involved in it. Everybody was volunteer. What was more pronounced is that people that came forward, not, we had former ministers, we had member of parliaments, we had central committee member of the party, we had people from civil society, they all came forward to volunteer to ensure the integrity of these ballot boxes until the recount was over. It's not the end of the process because we still go to keep an eye on the container because the declaration has been made.
Reporting from outside of the Artichon Conference Center, the site used for the national recount of all votes cast on March 2nd, I am Bibi Katoon.